Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
When waves roar in front of me, so high that I can't see you, I don't have to be afraid.
When your voice is calling me to deep seas I've never traveled, I don't have to be afraid. I know your promises are true, promises are true. I believe you. Give me faith in everything I do. You light my way. Come on, let's go on a journey, sailing the ocean of God's great love. Come on, let's go on a journey, holding on to His promises from above. I'll trust the Lord with all my heart, and He'll direct my path. Come on, let's go on a journey of God's great love, of God's great love.
When waves roar in front of me, so high that I can't see you, I don't have to be afraid. When your voice is calling me to deep seas I've never traveled, I don't have to be afraid.
I know your promises are true, promises are true. I believe you. Give me faith in everything I do. You light my way. Come on, let's go on a journey, sailing the ocean of God's great love. Come on, let's go on a journey, holding on to His promises from above. I'll trust the Lord with all my heart, and He'll direct my path. Come on, let's go on a journey of God's great love, of God's great love.
Have you ever thought about the vast and infinite space between the stars above? Can you imagine a God-made wonder this breathtaking? In order to do this, we first need to know what it really means to imagine. The dictionary definition of the word imagine is to form a mental image or concept of something in your mind. Forming a mental image or imagining something is like seeing pictures or even movies in your mind. Let's try this out. Everyone, close your eyes and picture your favourite Christmas memory. Ready? Go. Okay, open your eyes. Did you see your family? If so, what did their smile look like? What were they wearing? What colour are their eyes? Or did you see lights? Were they hanging from a tree or lining the roofs and chimneys of homes? What colour was their soft glow? Blue, green, red? Congratulations! You just used your imagination. Isn't it amazing that our minds are able to see details such as these about something that happened days, months, or even years ago? So, what does God say about imagining? Well, for starters, He gave us the wonder which is our brain and the ability to use our imagination. In fact, using your imagination to form pictures in your mind about God's truths and believing in His Word, even when we don't see things with our eyes, is a major part of faith. You can exercise your imagination by picturing images from stories in the Bible, like movies in your mind. In fact, the more you dream about and imagine God's Word, the deeper it will be planted in your heart and the closer you will grow to God. Our imagination is a gift from God and an important tool to living a life of daring faith.
There once was a man named Joshua who loved God with his whole heart. The day came when Joshua needed to have courageous faith and cross the Jordan River when it was rushing with so much water that there was no way anyone could walk through it. God told Joshua to have the priests carry the Ark of the Covenant and stand in the river. God said that as soon as a priest set foot in the river, the water would stop flowing and dry ground would appear. And so, Joshua, the priests, and the Israelites did as God asked. As soon as the priests reached the river and their feet touched the water's edge, the water stopped flowing. Then the Israelites crossed the dry riverbed to the town of Jericho, just as God had planned.
Hi guys, well let me give you a little backstory on what you just watched. You see, the Israelites had come out of Egypt. They used to be slaves in Egypt, and they had been out of Egypt for a long time, walking around the desert, waiting for God to give them instructions and directions on which way to go. And Moses, who was leading the Israelites, had died. And a new leader is now leading them. His name is Joshua. And God told Joshua, it's now time to go into the promised land. You've walked around long enough. Now take the Israelites and go into the promised land. And it was a bunch of people. It wasn't just a few hundreds or a few thousand. It was a ton of people. So the Israelites got up, pulled up their camp, and started walking in the direction that Joshua was leading them according to God's direction. And they came to a river. Now this wasn't just a small river. It was a pretty big river, and it was rushing really hard. It was that time of the season where there's a lot of water. And they stood there wondering how in the world they were going to get across this. There was no bridge, so they didn't know what they were going to do. And God told them to step out into faith. Now, it would make sense to me if they went to the water and they waited for God just to make the water stop, and then they went across. Okay, that'd be cool, but God didn't say that. God said, step out into the water. So the priests had to literally step into the water, and as each time they stepped into the water would stop, it would stop, it would stop, it would stop, until it finally all receded back. And then the Israelites were able to walk across dry ground onto the other side of the river. You and I, we can have daring faith just like Joshua, by following God and imagining what it would be like when God answers that prayer, imagining what it will be like when God does that something that you're believing Him for. And that's daring faith. Now, Hank and Charlie have gotten themselves into a sticky situation. Let's check in with them and see what's going on. See ya.
Challenger.
For thousands of years, people have looked up to the stars and wondered what's beyond. Thoughts of distant galaxies, strange planets, and possibly even life unlike any we've known on Earth. But no one could have ever imagined in the deep expanse of our universe lives one furry creature with 4 legs and a jetpack. Bah. His name is Space Goat, and he's here to help you, and he's here to help us, here to help us answer life's toughest questions. What river was Joshua crossing? The Mississippi River? The Nile River? Or the Jordan River? Well done! Joshua was crossing the Jordan River. Why was crossing the river difficult for Joshua? Because he forgot his floaties? He had just purchased some new shoes? He had to first step into the water before God would stop the river. Perfect! Crossing the river was difficult for Joshua because he had to step out in faith for God to stop the river. What were the Israelites carrying across the river? The Ark of the Covenant? Animals? Cute purses? Yes, indeed, the Israelites were carrying the Ark of the Covenant across the Jordan River. Until next time, stay spacey, cadets.